the Xperia 1 Mark 6. So Sony Xperia devices, I mean, I think they always offer something different, which is nice. But in terms of what we've got, everybody else in the competition, right? However, the device itself, from what we can see, we've got some detailed renders from OnLeaks, who is usually very, very accurate with his leaks. It looks a lot like the Xperia 1 Mark 5 that was from last year. So like physically, we've still got that longer aspect ratio, although that might be tweaking a little bit. So we're looking at a 6.5-inch display. Now, here's the thing. From what I'm reading here, headphone jack, brilliant. Sony fans love that. But it might be slightly shorter and slightly wider, right? And a tad thicker. So the dimensions may be changing a little bit. So not a huge deal. The big thing that we've got rumored here is that the 4K display is going to be going, and Sony's now going to be going to a 2K display. So that is going to be quite a, because I mean the 4K display was something obviously that really makes the Xperia devices stand out. Now they might be going to a 2K display. So what do you think? What are your feelings about that, E?
It's fine. It honestly is fine. The thing about it is when you look at devices that size, you really can't tell, at least most consumers won't be able to tell the difference between 2 and 4K. Now, the only downside is that most people who are buying the Xperia devices are Sony heads, so to speak, right? And these are guys who are using the Xperia as a viewfinder for their cameras, and, you know, because, you know, they have that connectivity there where you can, and that is where somebody will have the downside of like, okay, look, I'm not getting the same crisp imagery because I'm shooting from a camera and I can't see my view screen type of thing. That's the only downside I can see, but it's not something that 2K is not bad. It's not like 2K is, you know, 720p or something.
But here's the thing, this is what we're saying. So in my experience, whenever I've reviewed Sony devices in the past, I think that they're excellent devices. I like that they offer something different. Again, when I say different, it's, you know, compared to the offering that we have everywhere else. You know, the slimmer form factor, like in the form factor, because it's slimmer and it's taller, it just makes it a lot more, like, it's easier to hold. Display obviously is great. We have the dedicated shutter button, the front firing speakers, the headphone jack, things that we are not really seeing. We've got, you know, the variable aperture, and, you know, the cameras, again, I think are solid cameras. The only problem I've always had with Sony devices is that it's great for manual shooting, right? Okay, you want to go there, love that, absolutely love it. You've got all of the different settings as well that you can tweak, especially for video. My issue has always been when it comes to Sony devices is that's all well and good, but also give us great automatic features as well, because I don't always, as with everybody else, you want to just sometimes point and shoot, right? And you just want it to work, right? But then when you compare the point and shoot capabilities of Sony Xperia devices to something like the iPhone or the Samsung phones, which have all of this AI and, you know, computational photography going in the background, then it's a big difference. And this is a debate that, you know, we constantly have back and forth. And, you know, Sony fans do get quite annoyed about that. I'm saying, look, I love the manual modes. Don't get me wrong. I love that. And I use it a lot as well. Like whenever I've been reviewing Sony devices, it's there. So it's like, it actually encourages you to actually use it. But give me a good auto mode as well. Probably going to get some hates in the comment.
I mean, look, guys, let me give you a little secret about Saf and the way he takes pictures, right? He likes to set the scene. So which is why, you know, sometimes he wants to go auto just because, you know, it's the UK. It might rain real quick. So he wants to make
you
sure
just have to you have to be quick before the thunderstorms. Speaking of which, I mean, like, you know what, you know, the weather across the world, like I've been seeing what's happening in Dubai and the UAE is crazy. So like, you know, you might want to quickly capture something and you just want to go point and shoot and just get it. And yes, when you have a bit more time, brilliant. Give me the manual features. But anyway, I'm interested to cover it. I mean, you know, if it does come along, then I'm more than happy to cover it. So here's one of the things that I found Sony was doing is they were sending the devices to the Sony fans, right? Before anybody else. So then the initial reviews would be positive, essentially, because if they're sending it to the Sony fans, obviously the Sony fans are going to be more positive towards the devices. But then by the time it comes to us, then, you know, the device, we've got another 6 devices to cover. So it's just like, okay, now this is a bit late. Let's see what they do this time. Yeah,
I mean, that is very true. I think if I take the Sony hat and go like, that's a great marketing move, honestly. It really is. At least, you know, just to push that out. No, I'm just saying that initial.
No, I mean, I get it, but then that's kind of unfair, isn't it? Because then consumers are not getting a proper like view of the device because they want to hear the positives and the negatives.
So as a business, is that my concern? I want you to buy it. I'm not saying that my product is bad, right? I just want to put my stuff in the best light possible. It's an interesting tact, right? Every company has their way of doing their own tact. Sony has decided to go this way. I'm not saying it's the best way, but that's what they try to do.
Well, I mean, as I said, we're happy to cover it. So hopefully we will be checking it out and doing some tests. But yeah, let's see. So that's we've not really got any specific dates as yet. But we'll see when they come out.
I mean, usually Sony always starts. It's either like I think in May or June that we tend to see stuff around that. But next month is pretty packed.
It's getting very bad. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.